Okay. I brought some pictures with me because I feel like when you lose someone, when I lost my grandfather, no having testicular cancer, again to Marika this year, I felt that pictures are very therapeutic because you laugh and all the good times you've had. Marika Joy Warden was a dear friend of mine. I met Marika during my senior year, her junior year. Through a weird adventure that I won't get quite into, my group of friends engulfed her into our circle. And the next year, we would form memories, adventures, and traditions to last each of us a lifetime. We were able to appreciate her humor, caring heart, and love of life. Sadly, most of us were shipped to college after that year, and Marika entered her senior year. Although we didn't see each other every day, we still kept close. She even visited me at Clark a couple times. By showing her the quirky parties, the nooks and crannies in university, and the overall Clarky vibe, it became her first choice school, and by that April, she received her acceptance letter and was very excited to come. I remember the day we first found out. It was a beautiful summer day in May, and I had just returned to Ithaca after exams. Like Clark, it is an Ithaca tradition to take advantage of beautiful weather by venturing to our local park on the lake with hookah in hand and great company. Marika had always, so this is her front here. That day, Marika had always had a passion for soccer. It was her life. And that day she was feeling particularly badass. She pulled up her pant legs and showed us all her bruises. Bruises the size of my fist. It covered her entire legs. It was kind of haunting. We showed our stress and our worries, and she got the hint. So later that night, she called her aunt, who lives right outside of Worcester, and who is a doctor, and she said that she should get checked out immediately. The next day she had gone to the doctor, and hours later, left with the news that she was diagnosed with leukemia. Since then, life was no longer simple or easy. She began treatment that made her very sick. She was forced to sit in the hospital bed during her prom and missed the last month of classes. But Marika was a fighter, and everyone knew it. She created a blog titled Marika Kicks Leukemia and kept all her friends and family informed of her progress. By June, she had got enough strength to walk at her graduation. I unfortunately was studying abroad, but my mother went and said the whole auditorium stood up in applause as she walked and received her diploma. Also later that summer, we held her a prom redo so she wouldn't have to feel like she missed out on that great opportunity. From then on, her sickness seemed to come in waves. She started Clark during week 1, but had to have her last round of chemo in New York, and would later return in October. She found people very accepting of her situation, and even tried to make a headscarf fad. I remember her telling me this in her right hall room. It wasn't long before she made plenty of amazing friends. When she returned to Clark after her leave, she wrote an entry in her blog saying, "I am ready for my desk at Clark University. At last, I have returned to campus and cannot wait for things to start to come alive again after the Columbus Day vacation. Everyone has welcomed me back, and I am genuinely surprised that I have managed to meet this many people and that this many people remember me." When I read this entry, I laughed, because if you've met her, she's a hard person to forget. Sadly, she needed to visit the hospital more and more often, and soon Clark became an inconvenience for her, so she transferred to Ithaca College to be closer to Strong Memorial Hospital. The summer before she was supposed to start her semester at Ithaca College, she relapsed. So she spent all her time in Strong, and the nurses had grown in her and kept her company and gave her hope. She admired them and their work. The kindness and compassion and empathy that these nurses showed her made her feel like nursing was her calling after she got better. This is the last photo I ever took of Marika, and it was during winter break of this year. We went to her favorite restaurant, Viva Taqueria, because she always was begging us to come, so of course we went. Her eyes carried less life in them, but we thought she had made it past the hurdles and that she was almost at full recovery. We were wrong. She posted her last blog entry on February 2nd, saying that she needed a transplant and that it was her last chance of hope. Sadly, after the surgery, her body began to reject the transplant and her lungs became affected. Her friends pulled together, sending emails, letters of hope, and mixed CDs since she couldn't have any visitors. This March 4th, my mom's birthday, I was in class in GC, and I received a text from one of her friends that had been going through a process with her who lived nearby. She had said, "Sorry, I'm afraid to tell you this way, but Marika had passed away." I burst out in tears and had to leave class. and then I had to make very hard, difficult phone calls to our group of core friends. It all started out the same thing. Hi, I have some bad news. I hope you're sitting down. Are you okay? Marika passed away this morning. I didn't know how to tell you, and I wouldn't be able to finish. So, after a week of disbelief, tears, and prayers, our core group of friends all reunited in Ithaca for her service. We wanted to truly dedicate a day for her, so we printed literally 100 photos, and that morning we just cut and paste and made a whole collage of all the memories that we've had with her. After the service, we decided we still wanted to have a Marika-based day, so we visited all our favorite places, ate at our favorite sushi place in College Town, and then lastly, we went to go visit her old apartment. That's when it truly hit home. We walked in, and it was just as she left it. Nothing was different. It was almost as she was simply in the bathroom and we were waiting for her to come back. We all held hands, started in her bed, lit a candle, and said a prayer. Not a day goes by where I don't think of her and those tomato red cheeks, that smile, and the memories that she used to greet me with open arms. Her birthday would have been this Tuesday, her 21st. To get by, I realized I did lose a very dear friend, but at the same time, I feel like I gained a guardian angel. And so, I miss you, Marika, and everyone does, and we're fighting for you. Thank you.